think I got just naturally in like years.
What's going on, guys? This is Nathan the Scrub Cat welcoming you to our next live duel here on the channel. Today we have a very fun mirror match. We have Tearlament taking on Tearlament. So we're going to have to see which one of these two Tearlament decks is able to take the win today. Let's go ahead. We're going to jump into today's live duel. This is a best 2 of 3. We're going to see who won that dice roll here. Looks like it's going to be a Tearlament player who won the dice roll. And we're going to see exactly what he can do. Alrighty, I believe they're playing kind of the same deck. We'll have to see if it's exact or not. I know we have one deck profile on the channel. We're not going to have a second one as of yet, unless there's a different variant coming out. But we are going to see it start off with an activation of Terraforming. So Terraforming is going to add the field spell to the hand. That's going to be the Primeval Planet, I'm guessing, unless he has something else in his deck, maybe some spice. Nope, there is the Primeval Planet. He will add that to his hand. So let's go to see what he's going to be doing next here. I'm guessing he's just going to activate that right off the bat. And I can't see what our other Tearlament player has in his hand, but there's the activation of that Primeval Planet. That'll add one from deck to hand. See what he's going to add here. I see a DD Crow in hand, so that can come in hand, especially against the mirror match. That's all I can see with the way that he's holding his hand. Alright, looks like he's going to add that Rhino Heart. Okay, so adding Rhino Heart to hand, we're just going to see a normal summon of the Rhino Heart. Rhino Heart will dump one from the deck to the grave, I believe, is what he's going to be doing here. See what's going to happen next. Looks like he's going to be dumping the Tearlament Merlee. So Merlee's effect is going to get activated here in the graveyard because it was sent by a card effect that can fusion summon. So there's the activation of the Merlee. And we're going to see the chain of the DD Crow, so that's going to banish the Merlee. That way his effect is negated. Don't have to worry about that fusion summon this turn. We're going to see the activation of King of the Swamp, discarding it to add a Polymerization to hand. King of the Swamp's been pretty prevalent as of late because of Tearlament, because it can be sent to the grave for Tearlaments or be shuffled back as a fusion material, and it can be anything. So that can kind of be cool there. Has to be a designated, an actual name though. It can't be just a one-off card. It has to be an actual name for the fusion summon. So you always have to remember that when being activated. We're going to see the activation of Triple Tactics Talent, because that DD Crow was activated. That will reveal Pot of Desires, Dark Ruler No More, a Supremacy Mare, and then the whatever, the trap, the Suliak. We're going to see the Dark Ruler No More get shuffled back. Probably a really good card to get rid of there, especially if he's planning on building any kind of board here. We're going to see the activation of Polymerization now. Going to be fusioning out here. Let's see what he's going to be going into here. He's got that Rhino Heart, as well as the level 3 going into the Kaleido Heart. No, that's the Kid Kalos. That's my fault. Kid Kalos will have effect of Havness because it was sent to the grave by a card effect for the fusion summon off that poly, and then the Kid Kalos effect as well. So let's see what he's going to be doing here. We're going to be adding one off of that Kid Kalos. Adding the Suliak. Okay, so he now has his own Suliak that he can use to negate an effect on that field, and then send one of the Tearlaments from the field to the grave, which they can activate their effect fusion summon, which is kind of cool how they can rejuvenate the field, I should say, getting rid of one negating, and then also being able to summon out something else as well. And then we have the Havness effect. We're going to be using the King of the Swamp, and then was that Havness? To fusion summon here, we're going to see what he can use now. Like I said, King of the Swamp does have to be an actual name, so it can't just be a random dark or anything like that. Going into the window, which you can't actually do because that is just a Shaddoll and a dark. So the King of the Swamp can't actually just be a Shaddoll. It would have to be like a Shaddoll Dragon or Shaddoll Falco or any of the Shadolls with an actual name. So unfortunately, the window doesn't actually work here. He would have had to have like a Beast Engrave or something like that to go into the window. So that's going to end up going back to the extra deck, and we won't even worry about it. So pretend like you're not even going to see that window on the field. That never actually happened. So he's going to go into the Millennium Eyes Restrict instead, using that King of the Swamp to be the 1000, I believe is what you need for that. So he does have a negate on the field as well as a set card, most likely that Suliek. We're going to see what Tearlament player number 2 Easton has in store for us here. Looks like he does have that Pot of Desires in hand. We're going to see that activation go off. So we're going to banish 10 for cost here, or see if it goes through. I don't actually think that he has any other, his opponent has any cards in hand. He just has that one Millenniumized. So he's not allowing us to see what he has banished. I think that's a polymerization up top, but that's about the only thing I could actually tell what was in that banish pile that's face down off that Pot of Desires. But let's go ahead and we'll see what he does next here after that draw. So Millenniumize is, once per turn here, if a monster effect is activated, he can equip it to the Millenniumize, and that card's effect is negated for as long as it's equipped to it, so no matter how long it is. We're going to see a normal summon of the Sea Mare. Supreme Sea Mare there, that can send one Aqua type, I believe, from the deck to the grave. So I can dump literally any of the Tearlaments that you might need to get into the grave. And he's going to be sending the Merlee. So we'll see if his Merlee can activate its effect to Fusion Summon, or if he's going to activate that Millennium Eyes to negate that. Looks like he is going to negate that effect right there, so he'll equip the Merlee to it. He'll gain attack equal to that Merlee, so he's at 800, I believe that Merlee is. 8 or 900, one of those two. And now, because it's equipped, its effects cannot be activated, so for either person. Oh, we are seeing a chain though, so chaining to that Millennium Eyes effect, we are going to see that Havness. So Havness is going to special summon, milling 3 there. So we'll see that Merlee get equipped, the Havness will mill the 3, the Beast will be able to draw 1, and he can actually, if you can figure out a way to get a Tearlament into the grave by effect, you can actually fusion summon into a window or something along those lines. We'll have to see if he's able to do that though. Alright, so it looks like we're going to see another activation here. This is the Scarin, I believe is how you want to say that one. He'll discard 1 to special it, and then he'll mill 3, so he will get an effect of the Rhinoheart, I think is what he discarded there. Alright, we'll have to see what we got going on here. Havness effect. So he's going to be shuffling back here. Looks like the Rhinoheart as well. And he's going to be going into the... I think he used 3 there, so it's going to be the Kaleidoheart. Alright, so Kaleidoheart is now fusion summoned. Effect of the Kaleidoheart. Get rid of that field spell, I believe, because the Millennium Eyes is only once per turn. Can't negate it there. He does gain attack, though. I believe that is 800, like I said before. See what he's going to target here with the Kaleidoheart. And I believe that shuffles it back. Okay, so he's going to chain the Suliek, targeting the Kaleidoheart there, after the Kaleidoheart targeted the field spell. Gotta get rid of that thing as soon as possible. Shuffle that back into the deck. So we'll have to see... So that will send 1, that's going to send the Kit Kalos to the grave. So it negates and then sends. So you have to negate the effect to be able to send. So that's going to send the Kit Kalos. Kit Kalos effect is going to activate because it was sent. And that's going to mill 5. We'll have to see what he mills here. I can't see any of those. That's what I want to see. Alright. Those are right off the screen. I see some levels. I see a couple monsters. And a trap and a spell. But that's all I got going for me. Alright, so we are going to see some activations of effects here. So we have the Scarin, and the Siren, I should say. The Siren and the Merlee were the ones that were milled off those monsters. So you can activate those effects, but because the Millennium Eyes restrict is on the field, the Merlee can't actually activate its effect, because Merlee's effect is negated as long as it's equipped to the Millennium Eyes. But you can still get to the Siren's effect. So let's see what he's going to be doing there. So yeah, Siren's Effect will activate. He can shuffle back to Fusion Summon. We'll have to see what he's going to be Fusion Summoning. Looks like he's also choosing to shuffle back 3. It means he's going for his own Kaleidheart here. So Kaleidheart will be Fusion Summoned to his field by Siren's Effect. So Kaleidheart's effect, Chainlink 1 to shuffle back his own Kaleidheart, and then Chainlink 2 will be the Primeval because those cards will shuffle back into the deck to pop the Seamare to get that out of there. Alrighty. So doing some board clearing here, and it looks like he only has 2 cards left in hand, so unless Ethan's able to draw something pretty strong during his next turn, I don't think he's going to be able to do much, especially with that Millennium Eyes Restrict going to get his negate back during the next turn. We are just going to see a set 1 here and a pass turn. What's crazy for Tearlaments is that you can really just play on either person's turn. It's kind of like how Flornderies can summon during your opponent's turn, do all their effects. You're really getting into a format of playing on your opponent's turn. Minus Sprite, I don't think Sprite can really do that much, minus the starter. So we're going to see the Suliak here, negating the... Is that the Siren? Siren's Effect, which will send 1 to the grave. That will send the Kaleidheart. And we're going to see his own actually activate to negate. So he can actually choose to negate and send his own monster prior to it being negated. So he won't be able to send. So there's that going for us. So he'll send the Siren to negate that Millennium Eyes Restrict. And because it was sent, the Suliak on the other side can't actually negate, so it can't send that Kaleidheart. So Siren's Effect will be able to Fusion Summon here, and not have to worry about being negated via the Millennium Eyes, because it's no longer doing anything on the other side of the field. And I don't believe it actually even gains the attack anymore either, so it's just kind of just hanging out there for the rest of the turn. We'll have to see what he's going to be going into here. Looks like he's going to be shuffling back 2 Siren, and I can't see what the other one is, but he's going into his own Kit Kalos. Okay. So Kit Kalos effect will add 1 or send 1, I believe. Let's see what he's going to be doing here. He's going to add the Haveness, I believe, to his hand. So he has Haveness in his hand, Suliak on the field as well as the Kit Kalos. And the Millennium Eyes is negated for the turn, so we don't have to worry about that. So if he can actually get the Haveness onto the field and get a good mill, he could do some more stuff depending on what's going on. Alright, so we're going to see an activation of Shaddoll Fusion. So because the Kit Kalos is now on the field, he can send it directly from the deck to the grave, which is pretty busted. Especially when it comes to Tearlaments, because they can just get their effects when they're sent to the grave. Alright, so we have a Shaddoll Beast going to the grave, as well as... What else? What is he going to be sending? Has to be a Dark. His own Siren. Okay, so Siren plus Beast means he's going to be going into the Winda. I think that's the only one that they actually play is the Winda. I don't really see a reason to play any of the other ones unless you really want to get crazy. So there's the Winda getting dropped on the field. So Beast will be able to draw 1, and then the Siren can actually Fusion Summon. So there's the draw. Let's see what Siren's going to be doing here. He does have to shuffle back for that. And with that Winda on the field, I don't really see much happening here. So it's going to be Siren as well as the Kit Kalos getting shuffled back. And that might be the end of it right there. Oh, so 2 darks there going into, or Fusion plus a dark going into the Dragostophilia. So we do have a 2 negates off the Restrict as well as the Dragostophilia, plus the only 1 summon off the Winda. So we'll see an attack off of the Winda, getting rid of the Kit Kalos. Attack for 32 off of the Dragostophilia and 35 off of the Kaleidheart, thanks to Primeval Planet. We're going to see a pass turn there, we're going to see a draw, And with those 2 negates plus the 1 summon, I don't see much happening here. He would probably need like a Super Poly or something along those lines. We are just going to go see Scoop Face here. And that is game 1. Ended there with, we'll go with Tearlament player number 1 picking up the win over Easton. Alrighty, so let's go ahead, we'll get shuffled up, we'll get some siding going, we'll see what they can do for size versus the mirror match, and we'll see what happens in game 2. Stay tuned. Alright, looks like we are just getting finished up, getting our siding in and shuffling up. Let's go ahead and jump into game 2 of our match between Tearlaments and Tearlaments. The wonderful mirror match that is just a fun time. Now Easton lost game 1, so he does get to choose who's going first here, and I believe he chose to go first. We'll have to see what he sided in and or out of his deck for the mirror match. I'm seeing an instant fusion in his hand. I believe that's a primeval planet as well. 2 Tearlaments, look like they're the same exact one from the side of the card art. And a Dark Ruler No More. That's interesting that he actually kept the Dark Ruler No More in there when he's going first. But maybe he also plays the Cross-Out Designators. But we're going to see a start off here with the primeval planet. That'll add 1 to hand here. We'll see what he adds. Looks like he's not going to get stopped, so there's no Ash in the other Tearlament player's hand. It looks like he's going to be adding the Rhino Heart. So we're just going to see a normal summon of that Rhino Heart here that will send 1 to the grave. Looks like that's going through as well. Must not be playing any hand traps or didn't open any. Looks like he dumped the Havness, I want to say. Don't quote me on that. I believe it is the Havness. Alright. So we're going to see a fusion summon here. Shuffle in those 2 back. Going into the Kaleido Heart. Alrighty, let's see what's going to be happening next here. We're going to see an activation of Instant Fusion, so he'll pay 1,000 life points here to special summon 1 fusion monster from the deck. Looks like he's going to be special summoning out Kit Kalos. So Kit Kalos effect, that will either add or send 1. I do like the fact that you can add here, you can just add that Suliak right to the hand. That way you can make sure that you always have that negate on board ready to go. Especially when you can play on your opponent's turn. If you have that Suliak, you can just mill what I think Kit Kalos mills 5 when it gets sent to the grave. So you can just get a whole bunch of effects going off on that and just play on your opponent's turn, which is insane. You'll possibly set off a window too, depending on how many Shaddoll's you play. If I was playing Tearlaments, which I am not currently playing it, I would probably almost play a couple more Shaddoll's than normal, just to make sure that I got those to the grave as soon as possible. So I think this just runs a small engine of it. Alright, so looks like we're seeing the other effect of Kit Kalos that'll send Kit Kalos to special summon, and he'll get to mill those 5. Does not get to see. He's milling 8 here off the Mirror Lee too, or 3 off the Mirror Lee and then 5 off the Kit Kalos, I believe. And they kind of went off the board there, but I do see Anti-Spell, D-Barrier, Pot of Desires, a couple other cards there. See here, we have the Siren, which I believe is activating its effect now. And then a Havness. I can't see what that last card is. The Siren's effect will shuffle back the Kit Kalos as well as the Siren. Good to see another fusion summon here. Let's see what he's going into. Going into a Dragosophilia, so he'll get that effect negate on the board. And then I believe he still has that Suliak too, so that's also another effect negator to get through the 5 cards on in his opponent's hand. Was trying to see what his opponent might have had in his hand, but he didn't really tilt his hand towards the camera too much. I see 2 spells, a trap could be the Suliak, doesn't look like it though. We'll have to see if he can get past. He's only going to have 2 negates, I believe, on the board. So you should be able to play through it depending on what happens. I don't think he ended up sending anything like a Shaddol or anything. So I'm wondering how many Shaddolls they're actually playing in the deck. I feel like I would play more of a Shaddol engine in the deck if it was me playing it. But I'm bad at this game, so don't actually listen to me when it comes to deck building. We're going to see a Link summon here into a Sprite Elf, because the Merlee was a level 2, so I guess you could do that. That can special summon back the Merlee, I guess, in the next turn. I don't know if I would want to get rid of the Dracostophilia, though. I feel like that'd be a bad play. Oh, we're going to see just go straight to the battle phase here, and in the battle phase see that evenly matched. So that is going to cost him, because I don't think he can negate that. The Suliac in the field is kind of dead in the water. You can't even use it right now. So he's going to lose a lot of things. We're going to see what he chooses here, though. He could choose a Sprite Elf and bring back the Havness, but he can't really do much with that. Or sorry, the Merlee. But he can't really do much with that, so I'm not sure why he actually plays the Sprite Elf, or what his plan was to go through with that. We're going to see him lose his Primeval Planet, the Sprite Elf, as well as both of his face downs, keeping that Kaleido Heart. Ooh, man, his opponent even had the Dark Ruler no more, so even if he didn't have the Evenly, or if he could negate that, not much he could do, because he just Dark Ruler. We're going to see an activation of the Primeval Planet. That'll add 1. I'm guessing he's going to add the Rhino Heart, because that is kind of the starter of the deck, being able to normal summon that and just send one right off the bat. Get some effects going. We'll have to see if I'm right off that or not. So there's the Rhino Heart. Okay, so the normal summon of the Rhino Heart, I believe it was a normal summon, it should be anyway. Don't think there's a way just to straight special summon it out of the hand. So we're going to see a Chain to the Rhino Heart, special summoning the Havness, sending 3 to the grave. Ooh, we did hit that Siren, so that's going to be good. So Rhino Heart's going to resolve then, sending 1. We'll see what he sends here. Now this is main phase 2, we have to remember that. He had already evenly matched. So we don't have to worry about him attacking. He's going to be sending his own Siren as well. So Siren will be Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2 will be whatever Easton chooses here. So Chainlink 2 will be the Siren, Chainlink 3 will be the Kaleido Heart. Kaleido Heart will shuffle back the Rhino Heart, so we can't use that as a fusion material. Siren will go ahead and fusion summon here. We'll see what he does. Looks like he's using the Dracostophilia. He'll shuffle that back along with the Siren, going into a second Dracostophilia. So we'll have a effect negation on the board. So the first Siren will now resolve, shuffling back the Merlee and the Siren, going into a Kaleido Heart. So we'll see a Kaleido Heart, shuffling back the Dracostophilia. Dracostophilia will be Chainlink. Or was that a, oh, that was the Primeval that popped that. Okay, so Primeval popped Dracostophilia. So we chained the Dracostophilia, putting a counter on the Kaleido Heart, but its effect isn't negated now because the Dracostophilia isn't here, unless he's able to get a second one out. We're going to see an effect of the Kikalos. So that'll special summon the Merlee. Kikalos effect will mill 5, and then he'll mill 3 off the Merlee. So we got a Dark Hole No More, Infusion, Rhino Heart, Siren, Dark Hole, Red Reboot. I think that's the Primeval Planet, and then a DD Crow. So I don't think he actually got anything there. Maybe the Rhino Heart, I can't remember, because the Siren's already been used. So that was a whole lot of mills of nothing. Whole lot of mills of nothing here. That was just announced as a normal summon of the Snow, which is incorrect. He's already normal summoned this turn, if I'm not mistaken, of the Rhino Heart. After the Evenly, I believe he already normal summoned the Rhino Heart, so this is an illegal normal summon. But he does actually have enough engraved to special summon it if he wanted to, so we'll just pretend like that happened, and we're going to play it out and see what happens, depending on if this actually affects anything in the game. We're going to see a Link summon here with the Merlee and the Snow into the Dark that can special summon 1. So he's going to special summon the Dracostophilia, and I believe he does have a negate now he can use later on. So we're going to pretend like that Snow is special summoned, pretend like he banished those those cards from the graveyard and or the hand. We're also seeing an illegal activation or entering of the battle phase because it is main phase 2 already. But sometimes these turns can be so long that you forget what's going on because you can't really do any note-taking within Yu-Gi-Oh! This kind of thing can be a mistake that can happen sometimes. So it's always nice to be able to back up there, which we did see a backup of the play to make sure that the field is correct. Alright, looks like we're going to see a pass turn here going into Easton's turn. We're going to see an activation of the Terraforming. They can add the Primeval Planet. So there's that for him at least. The Primeval Planet will actually do a secondary effect besides adding. It can actually have all fusions and or Tearlaments gain 500 attack. So we're going to see the activation of the Primeval Planet here. That can add 1 to hand if you would like. Let's see what he's going to be doing here. Now the Cladheart is up to... I think it only affects your own as well. Up to 35. And then the Havness is up as well for 500. I'm trying to figure out how much it actually is though in the first place. He's going to add 1 off screen unfortunately, so I can't tell what that is. Does look like it's a dark possibly, so it could be the Siren. We're going to see both of his monsters get switched into attack position. He's just going to attack straight over the... Yeah, he's just going to attack straight over 300 because the Dragostophilia is also boosted by 500. So he's at 27 usually, up to 32, while the Cladheart's up at 35. So that'll be 300 there. And that's going to be able to attack over the Dark. I believe it's at 250 there. Okay. And the Dark is at 1850, which means that that would be at 21. So that means that the Havness is usually at 1600. Alright. So we got opponent has 1 card in hand, I believe, as well as Easton only has 1 card in hand. The Dark is going to be able to search 1 though because it was destroyed. Searching for the Havness, I believe. Alrighty, main phase 2 here. It looks like the one that was added off the Primeval was the one in hand, which is the Rhino Heart, looks like. Guess we're going to see a normal summon of the Rhino Heart. There it is. And we're going to see a chain of the Havness to special summon because of the Rhino Heart's effect. He'll mill 3 there, I believe. All dead mills, unfortunately. The Tearlament deck is kind of based around luck of what's going to be milled, so that's the one thing I don't really like about it. It's all random, you never really know. You can't really control the deck, unfortunately. There are some decks you can actually control what you're going to be milling. Tearlaments, I don't believe, is one of them. So he's going to be sending the Siren to the grave off the Rhino Heart. That will then activate its effect, and that'll shuffle back. I'm guessing he's going to fusion summon here. So Siren's effect will activate. And Cladheart will also activate, so I'll be chainlink 2, shuffling back the Primeval Planet, making sure that he can't actually do anything with that. And again, this is in main phase 2. So he's going to be shuffling back here. Let's see here, we got the Siren being shuffled back, as well as... see what he's going to be shuffling back. Are we going to go into a Kikalos? Kikalos could add the Suliak, which it would be nice. He's just going to be shuffling back the Dragostophilia, bringing out a second Dragostophilia so he gets that effect negation on the board. So 1 card in hand, I think is what his opponent has, plus that Havness. And I think that's all he's got. We're going to have to see if he can play through this. He could top deck it down the Dark no more. He's playing those. But we will have to see. Alright, drawing into a DD Crow, and the other card in his hand is a Dark Ruler No More. Look at that, I called that one. Alright, looks like we're just going to enter Scoop Face here. He didn't really have much to play on there. He could do Dark Roller, but that's all he could really do. DD Crow wasn't going to do anything either. So we are going to go ahead. We'll side up for Game 3. We are getting close on time. Looks like there's just under 10 minutes left in the match. So hopefully these guys can finish up Game 3. We don't have to worry about going into time. Let's go ahead. We'll get sided up and we'll jump into Game 3. Stay tuned. Alright, looks like we are just about ready to jump into Game 3. Looks like we just revealed a D barrier from the deck of Easton. Hopefully that doesn't bite him in the back later on, because the opponent now know he has that. We are jumping into Game 3 here. Let's see what we can get going. Looks like we have, is it a Gozen match in Easton's hand? A few other cards as well. I think I saw a Pot of Desires. We're going to see who chooses to go first, though. Looks like we're going to be seeing a set 1, set 2, set 3. 3 cards set face down and a pass turn. It's probably not the best play you could go with a Tearlament deck, but he could always have something under his sleeve. Alright, so Easton's turn started. We're going to see it start off with an activation of that Pot of Desires, banishing 10 to draw 2. Looks like he's going to let that go through. Alright, I do see some Tearlaments in the hand now. Those will come in handy later on. And I think, yeah, that is a Gozen match as well. Which I don't know, I guess maybe that could affect. Make it stop him from doing anything but just going into Tearlaments. We're going to see a activation of the Poly here. Just a fusion summon the regular way. And a chain of the D barrier. So that is unfortunate. The dimensional barrier they're calling fusion is going to stop him in his tracks unless he can do anything besides fusion, which I'm not sure what Tearlaments could even think about doing. I guess you could link into that Sprite Elf if you wanted to. We're going to see the activation of the Siren, though, discarding the Siren. There's his own D barrier, DD Crow and the Rhoda. Getting milled there. It's not good mills at all for him. We're going to see a set 2. And pass turn. Alright, turn 3 here. We're going to see what we can do. Looks like I just saw, yep, there's the instant fusion. So he's going to pay 1,000 life points. Off that, you have your own D barrier to stop your opponent from doing anything, Easton. Does not look like you are. So he's going to pay that 1,000 down to 7,000 life points to go into the Kit Kalos. So Kit Kalos can add 1. If he didn't already have the Suliak, he'd probably add that, unless he wanted to keep going here. He has a normal summon, so that's also a good thing for him. He's just going to add the Rhino Heart. So looks like we're going to be doing that normal summon of the Rhino Heart. And luckily for us, in the last game when that misplay happened off that normal summon of the snow, it didn't actually affect it. Easton did win, and it didn't end up costing him the game. So this kind of sort of is still a valid game. So we'll pretend like it is. So don't call us out in the comment section for that. We already know that it happened. We're going to see the normal summon of the Rhino Heart here. Rhino Heart effect to send 1. And this could cause a big old fusion summon to happen. So we'll have to see what he's going to be sending here. Sending the Merlee effect to fusion summon. So we'll see what he's shuffling back here. I think he did have a Siren Engrave as well as the Merlee now. So he's going to be using all 3 of them, actually, the Kit Kalos as well as those 2, to fusion summon into a Kaleido Heart. So he'll shuffle those back into the deck. I'm surprised he actually went that route instead of getting the Kit Kalos to the grave, but I guess maybe that was one of the only things he could do. Kit Kalos will attack over the Siren, and will pass turn there. So he must not have much else in hand, it doesn't look like. So we have normal summon of the Merlee, so that means he doesn't have much in hand either. That will mill 3, I believe, into a D barrier, the Rainbow Plan, and the Tactics Talent. So unfortunately for him, again, the randomization of the mills is not good for this deck. Unfortunately for us. And for him. Unfortunate for our viewing pleasure, but also unfortunate for him when it comes to the duel. we're going to see a set 2 here and pass turn. So we're just going to go battle phase here, attacking over that Merlee. The Collide Heart's only at 3,000 though. It's not boosted by any Primeval Plant or anything like that, so maybe you can come back. We'll have to see. We're going to see a normal summon of the Supreme Sea Mare to send one from deck to grave. That will send a... not the King of the Swamp though. It'll send Havness effect. The fusion summon is getting chained by a D barrier calling fusion, and that could spell the end of it. Yep, that is going to be the end of the duel right there. We are going to see Scoop Phase by Easton. Hopefully you enjoyed our mirror match of Tearlaments. I know that it can be kind of interesting, but also kind of a drag on when it comes to it, depending on what's being milled. But hopefully you did enjoy today's live duel of Tearlament via Tearlament versus Tearlament. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell on the way to the door, because always support is greatly appreciated. But we will see you next time, guys, with another live duel here on the channel. But that's all I've got for now, guys. Thanks so much for watching. As always, this is Nick from the Academy, signing out for now. Peace out.